that's better. We do this every single Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight, we have a very, I think, special episode, like all of our episodes. And I was hoping that everyone could kind of introduce themselves, and then we'll kind of introduce the topic. So Phantom of the Opera saying, I see you, Tara.
Matt!
If we could start with Tara. Introduce yourself to what do you do? Who are you?
Sure. Okay, my name is Tara. I'm from Jersey. I'm here. Yeah, Jersey's a great place. Wait, you're from Jersey too?
Yeah.
Wow, where?
I was born in Jersey City, and then I lived in Inglewood too.
Love it. Okay, that's Union County.
Yeah.
Essex County. Bergen.
So back to Miami.
Anyway, I'm from Jersey. Jersey's a great place. I'm from Jersey. Now I'm here doing my master's in higher education administration. I am bisexual, and my preferred pronouns are she, her, and hers.
My name is Daniel. I'm currently in law school here at FIU. I'm from Pennsylvania, so Northeast, we're neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Colombia, so I'm Colombian. And I'm openly gay at the moment. And my pronouns are him, his, he.
Okay, well, my name is Jermace. I am a senior studying communications and education, but I plan to get my master's in higher education administration.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I identify as gay. My pronouns are he, his, and I'm Puerto Rican and black. I don't know if that's interesting, but yeah.
Hi, my name is Imani, and I am from Orlando, Florida. I am a junior majoring in sociology. We'll figure out what I'm doing with that later on. We'll get there. I am a queer woman of color, or as I also identify as a lesbian, so what's that?
What pronouns?
Oh, my pronouns are she, her, hers.
I'm Pam. I'm a senior majoring in business management, getting ready to graduate. I'm hoping to pursue a master's in higher education.
Look at us.
Yeah, all of it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from Broward County, huh? Let's see here.
Pronouns.
I identify as a lesbian, and my pronouns are she, her, hers.
Okay. And I guess I should. My name is Hurst. I identify as a heterosexual, cisgendered man. My pronouns are his, him, he, his, him.
Yeah.
Okay, he, his, him. All right, cool. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight. I think tonight we're talking about a very, I think, powerful, interesting, and maybe even sensitive topic. So thank you, all of you, so much for being here. I know it's finals week is about to start. I know people got meetings.
Yeah.
I know y'all are doing big things. So thank you so much just for being here. So tonight's topic is the coming out experience. All right. So I just kind of want to throw the question out there, and y'all feel free to comment. Feel free to ask questions. Whatever questions you ask, I'll make sure to ask our amazing panel. So just feel free to write whatever you would like. So what does coming out mean to you? Like when you hear this, when did you first hear it? Like what does this mean to you, and how have you experienced it in your life? Anyone can go, popcorn style, whatever y'all want to do.
Okay.
Your answer is my answer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say it. Okay, so Person kind of like mentioned this question to us before we started, and just like my main thing that I wanted to be put out there during this episode is that like you don't just like come out once and then that's it.
Yeah.
You're just like gay and everybody knows. Like you have to come out every time you like meet new people. You're in like a new area. So like it never stops. And I mean I don't want to speak for lots of people, but I think it never. I mean it gets a little bit easier, but I think sometimes it still is kind of intimidating to put out there. Yeah, like depending who you're talking to and stuff.
So I think coming out for sure is definitely like obviously something that you do on your own time. I think, like especially like from my experience, like I was younger, I feel like a lot of people kind of forced me to come out. They were like, this nigga gay, like, things like that. Like, you get those type of things. And but I think it's definitely like you never want to be pressured to come out. I think it's important to come out when you're ready, not when everyone else wants you to come out. So for sure.
and I think my experience was very interesting in the fact that I was just in denial for such a long period of time. Growing up Catholic, it just being gay just wasn't an option, and it was just very shunned. We didn't know any gay people, and it was just very taboo. So I didn't come out till my early 20s, and then she said, what's your name?
Tara.
Tara, sorry.
That's fine.
As Tara said, it gets easier as you move on, and like right now, people don't normally. I don't normally have to say, oh, by the way, I'm gay. It just kind of just flows now, but it's a process.
Now, some people might feel like they do have to say something, right? Some people might be, I don't know if the word is obvious, because I think that might be problematic, but some people make it more known, or maybe they put it out there a little bit more than someone else might have to, right? We live in a very heteronormative society, so we tend to think that people look a certain way, then that must be what they are, right? So have you ever kind of thought about that? Has anyone thought about that?
I would say for sure, like, I'm personally very, as some people call it, straight passing. So
That's a term.
Yeah, so it means like it's literally because it's a privilege to pass as straight. It can be considered a privilege to some. You go out into the world, and it's like in my opinion, it's like sometimes leading a double life, or like I feel like a double agent sometimes. Like I'm just out in the world, and I'm like in a setting, and I'm like listening to people talk about gay people, and I'm just like. Just like, so, you know, there's gay people here that don't like what you're saying. And it's like, it definitely makes it definitely makes it really different. So for me, coming out is like continuous, as everyone is saying, but it's also like, how I come out, it depends. Because sometimes I'm ready to come out, and it's because and it's nervous. I'm nervous, and I'm like, is this an environment where I want to come out? I'm working with these people, like maybe at a job. I'm like, do I want to come out to my coworkers? Do I want to come out to specific coworkers? And it's also like in my day-to-day life, do I want to come out to every single person in my family? Like, am I putting a Facebook post like, hey family, there is a lesbian in this family. Everyone please note this. Or am I just going to be like, so I told my mom. And I told my cousin, and you know, like that's what we're dealing with, and like maybe my dad knows, maybe he doesn't, like, you know. So coming out for me has really just like been, well, here's a little bit of coming out for you, here's a little bit of coming out here, here's a little bit of no, because you don't have to know, and that's kind of been because I don't obviously go into a room and it's like, hello, gay flag on my forehead.
I would say the same. I kind of agree with Monty. The way it's kind of set up for me is because of my outer appearance, people like automatically assume. And me personally, I don't like people like assuming. I don't like to make assumptions on other people. So you know, that's just kind of my thing. So I like to introduce myself once I'm comfortable, and I just like to, what I just said, like, yeah, my partner and I, my girlfriend and I, we went out, and that just kind of gives it off where I, you know, just wanted to flirting with them maybe, and that could be a thing. And so that's just like how I choose to come out, whether, you know, once I feel safe in the environment or comfortable, then I choose to make that step.
Yeah, I agree. Like something you said actually made me think about something. It's like, it's funny that like we always have to be like, you know, come out to people, because it's not like you don't have to sit down. If you're straight, you don't have to sit down and be like, hey mom, I'm straight. You know, you don't have to do that. But like being like a part of this group, you have to like people. You have to almost be like, oh, by the way, like I'm gay or I'm bisexual or you know, things like that, where it's like, why, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a straight person, you don't have to be like, you know, hey friends, like, just want to let you know, like, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but.
So on the show, I always kind of encourage like the people to share like their ignorance, and I have a lot of it. So I'll go ahead and share one. But real quick, I wanted to read a comment. Negra de Cache is saying, the assumptions suck if you're older and a tomboy. Speaking as a woman, those assumptions plague everyone. The gender norms are idiotic. Utter kills agreeing with them. Y'all are getting hearts. So I remember there was a time where growing up in a Hispanic culture is very like machista, like very like uber hyper masculinity, right? And I remember telling my boys that one of my boys was coming over, and I'm, hey y'all, by the way, you know, he's gay. And then one of my other boys told me, he's like, why do you feel the need to tell me that? Like, he put me in check, like, real quick. Why do you feel the need to, like, and then he went, like, he told me a deep story. He's like, when I was in Iraq, a gay man gave his life for me. He's like, and then he just kind of went into it, and I was like, whoa. So ever since then, I just, okay. But I also get the other part of it that some people, like, I don't want to hear, like, the jokes. I never want to hear the jokes, but especially when, like, my friend is around, like, it's like, I don't know, what do y'all think of that? Like,
I think you were trying to just, like, enlighten them, maybe, because, you know, like, yeah, like you said, maybe some of the things you may say around, you know, some people you
that's
may
not wrong with him, I'm sorry, that's not wrong with him.
like, you know, say, like, some things, you know, I don't know, like, we all have our things where, like, you know, where we're talking with our friends, like, we kind of, like, forget about certain things when we may say some things that may be offensive. So I think in a way, yeah, I agree, like, you don't really have to, like, say, oh, you know, just so you know, my friend's gay, but maybe in the instance where you might be like, man, that's gay, or, you know, where you may make, like, a comment that may be a little, like, problematic. I think maybe your intention was good, but
maybe, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like you just touched on. I feel like it depends, like, the intention. Like,
Yeah.
again, I don't know what your intention at the time was, but there could be people who it's like, oh, like, by the way, like, they're gay. Just because, like, gay is, like, this, like, foreign thing. Like, you just got to put it out there, like, oh, they're gay, just so you know. But then, like, if you're bringing your friend over to, like, I don't know, like, somewhere where there's, like, who would make stupid comments, you know what I mean? You might be like, by the way, like, you know, don't be your normal self or something, you know what I mean? Like, try to be a little less douchey today, so.
Just be mindful of, like,
Yeah,
some
less
of the things.
douchey.
Yeah.
Did you want to say something?
I mean, I think that. Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
I think that I understand where it might have been coming from, because there are environments, like you guys are saying, where you might want to tell people so that the person that is walking into the scenario isn't, like, also going to feel that awkward tension of, like, everybody realizing that they're gay. So it's like, let's just all know before we get there. Because, like, I know, let's say in high school, if I'm going to a sleepover, I'd probably want some of the girls there to be like, hey, you know, I like girls, but I also don't like y'all. So, just putting that out there. I like
Calm
girls,
down.
but not your kind of girls.
Yeah.
So just be aware.
Yeah.
But if I look at you for 2 seconds, I'm not trying to jump on you. I just have eyes.
Can y'all please elaborate on this? Because this is something that I think that's very, it happens, right? So
I think specifically for men, it's like a big thing. Like, you know, like if you have straight friends or like people, they're like, oh, like, man, I don't want that guy around me. Like, I ain't with that gay shit. You know, that's like a funny thing that people say, I ain't with that gay shit. But it's like really they're like, oh, like because you're gay, then they think automatically like you want them. When it's like, no, like.
As if straight people don't have a type.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like no,
Exactly.
like just because I'm gay and you're a male doesn't mean that I'm like
Ready.
trying to be with you or trying to like turn you out or anything like that. Like it's just like, okay.
That's cool.
I specifically try to say it just so I know, like, a common thing that girls do is, like, they just, like, change around each other, like, they're like, getting out, like, you know, whatever. So I kind of, like, try to mention beforehand just because, like, I'm not checking you out, but I don't want someone to, like, find out later and be like, oh my god, I changed with her, like, da-da-da, she was definitely looking at me.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, so I'll try to throw it out, like, you know, going out, like, oh yeah, you know, that girl over there, wow, she's, you know, like, casually, that way they, like, understand what's going on.
you said da-da-da, you've been around some Latino.
Those are the next one words.
Or even something that's like complimenting maybe like their sneakers or like their shirt. Like you're like, oh, I like your, you know, they may be like.
And they feel like you're hitting them.
Yeah,
I've
they
seen
be
that
like,
many
oh.
times.
You're like, oh. And it's like, chill. Like I'm just saying, I like sneakers.
I just have nice style. Like
yeah,
you do.
like, it's not, I'm not hitting on you. Like.
Something I want to comment on, kind of like switching a little bit, is when I feel like whenever I come out, like I'm always like trying to like prove myself that I'm actually like gay,
Oh
especially because I'm bi, and I think there's like a lot of misconceptions about like if bisexuality is real or not. So I like get questions from people that aren't that aren't verbatim like, are you sure you're gay? But it's like, so how many women have you dated? How many women have you slept with? Like, that's so awkward. Like, why would you ask someone that? Like, I don't have to validate myself to you. Like,
I just had like, yes. Like, I'm literally right with you because it's so frustrating because it's like, no one asks straight people this. No one's gonna ask a straight girl, are you sure that you only like dick?
Yeah.
Do you sometimes dibble and dabble into non-dick? Like,
Yeah.
no one asks. And then it's also like, even guys,
Uh-huh.
like, oh, well, have you tried that
Yeah.
other lifestyle?
Or
And
you
it's
have to
like,
have the right thing. Like,
yeah, and it's like, well, you know what? Why
It's
don't
like-
you go try some, and then maybe we can all be on the same page on if we all like dick or not.
Yeah.
And it's really annoying because it's like I should not have to justify if I like women or not.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I do. And at the end of the day, if it comes out in the end, like, I feel like this is like also a thing, like people are really afraid, like maybe in the end you're just gonna end up with a man.
Right.
And it's like, well, you know what, if I did, I'm gonna enjoy all the women that I end up with
Yeah.
in the meantime. Like,
That's just super
okay.
invasive. Like,
It is invasive.
why are you
yes.
so like concerned about like what I do in the bed? Like that's such a private matter. Like why are you so like? That's just so weird.
And that's
like,
what
I
it
never
always boils down to, I feel like, too, like the sexuality
Yeah.
part of it. Like, I always say, like, so, like, how do you hit on women? Is it different from how you hit on men? And I'm like, what are these, like, questions? Like, that's just so strange to me. And, like, it's different when you're with your friends or something, but, like,
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
up acquaintances at parties, like, I just met
Yes.
you. So how do you hit on women? What type of women do you like? And that's just a sexual
Yeah.
thing, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I just think that people are there. I guess they were growing up, you know, they're just used to like straight or straight, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
And even I think the thing that bothers me today is people always tell me, "Oh, is he gay?" And I was like, I don't know, like
Like, you're the
and-
expert on all
Yeah.
that.
yeah, like
The
you know,
gaydar,
the gay
right.
one, I don't know,
Yeah.
and two, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, and people just like they get so focused on, oh, is he gay? You know, because he has his eyebrows done or he doesn't have a girlfriend. And I was like, bro,
You're
just-
gay, you know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know you've been there, right?
I feel it.
But sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, you do be like, I can sense you're one of me.
Strong in
You
here.
know?
Getting strong in this one.
No,
Say
for
what
real.
but it's just what I learned because I had one of my really good friends. He was bisexual too, and I would nag on him about his sexuality because I was always like, "You're not really bi. You just don't want to say that you're gay." And after talking to him, I realized that I shouldn't question somebody's sexuality
Yes.
because that's their experience.
Yes.
My experience as a gay man makes me just as blind to a
Amen.
bisexual experience because that's not mine, or a
Right.
lesbian
Yeah,
experience,
true.
or a transsexual
Yeah.
experience, whatever it may be. So I just stopped like trying to guess people's sexuality, and I'm just like, everybody's fluid.
Right.
If you want to be gay today, if you don't want to be gay today, let me know or don't let me know.
It's up to you.
Whatever
Text
works.
me, maybe not.
Yeah.
I actually like that point of view because I guess that's a downfall of like straight passing. Because I don't get that "are you sure"
Oh,
question.
true.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she's sure.
Yeah. She cut her hair. She gotta be.
Yeah.
committed.
She's committed.
It's in the lifestyle.
Yeah, she's doing the lifestyle. There's no turning
She
back.
ran out the closet.
There's no turning back. She's sure.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's funny that you brought up the point of like you'll never know like other identities and
Yeah.
experiences because like I'm not saying it's not positive that's the LGBT community because you know there's so much camaraderie, this and that, but then there definitely are like confusions, you know what I mean? Like people will ask me questions that like don't relate to me. Like I can't answer what it's like to be a lesbian because like I'm not a lesbian, you know what I mean? Like just because I am like gay, like it's not the same,
Yeah.
you know?
Can you break that down?
Yeah.
I don't know if I understand. There's a lot of terminology, right, around LGBTQIA plus,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
A lot of terminology that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
I definitely don't know.
We're still learning.
So,
Yeah.
learning like queer, gay, and lesbian. Like what are the differences, real quick, for my ignorance and if people don't know. And I'm gonna read y'all's comments and questions. I promise. Y'all just blowing it up. If y'all don't know, it's cool. I can Google it later. But
Yeah.
if y'all know, please. You
I
know.
mean, like, okay, so correct me if you think I'm wrong, but like gay is generally like a man who likes men, right?
Yeah.
Lesbian, women who likes women. Queer is like an umbrella term, so like people can choose to identify as queer if that's just like the term that fits them better. Like you said that you identify as like queer, so you want to like elaborate on that, but
I think for me, I identify as queer because I feel like, as I said, like as someone has said earlier, sexuality is fluid. I am pretty confident in being a lesbian, but I also just like being queer because at the end of the day, like whoever my partner happens to be, like if I end up in a relationship with a trans man or something like that, I still identify as queer. I still identify as
Mm.
being non-straight, so that's how I identify as queer. Because I will never be a straight woman.
Non-straight. That's a good way to put
But,
it.
but
Yeah.
you said too that because you're gay, not because you're lesbian. So
Well, because
I
gay
didn't-
like can also be an umbrella term.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like yeah, so
Oh.
you can say gay just as like anyone who is not straight. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Or it could
Oh.
specifically mean like a man who likes men.
It's
Oh,
like
okay,
an
okay, okay.
informal term.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
we're learning out here. We're learning. Okay, okay, okay. So let me read some of these questions or comments. Let me see. Goodness. Okay, Nate, like I just said, bisexual equals. Why can't you just make it per mind?
Word.
The ignorance is
Mhm.
real.
Literally.
Kayla said I started talking to my husband after he told me he liked my shoes. I'm not sure what that means.
I think we were talking about complimenting people.
Oh, compliments. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera said, or telling a trans person, "Are you sure you're not just a butch lesbian?"
Wait, say it again.
Are you sure you're not just a butch lesbian?
In
Telling
terms
that
of
to
what?
who?
Or telling a trans person.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Something about Tom's. DNR said the LGBTQIA community is held to such a high standards of expectations by people. Why? Why can't the community just be treated as equally as others? Well, there's a lot of reasons. All right, historical, religion, and we'll get into that. They were talking about my gay senses are tingling. You ain't gay, Spider-Man.
That was funny.
And then Phantom of the Opera said queer can be in sexuality, their gender identity, or expression as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
true,
That
true.
is also
That's
very
okay.
true.
Very great. Okay. See, we're learning. I'm learning.
Smart.
So yeah, so here's a question. And y'all feel free to ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. And I'll definitely read them to the group. I had a friend tell me one time. I have a lot of friends. He was
A lot
going.
of friends are saying things too.
He I don't want to disclose their names. That's why. He was going to check out an apartment, and he told me that the roommate would be a guy. And he said, "Hey man, I had to get my straight voice on." All right, and then I'm like, what would that sound like? And then he did it. I just started laughing. Right, it like this really deep voice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you still do it? He's like, yeah. Sometimes I feel like I still need to do it around him. And they've been roommates for like a year or something.
Oh wow.
So do you sometimes think that you have to change part of you to fit in for now, right? And then maybe little by little, like ease them into it as if this were about them.
Yeah.
As terrible as it sounds, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
especially me being like a gay black man, absolutely. Yeah, like I definitely think that I can't like go up to someone and be like, you know, like you know what I'm saying. But I definitely feel like I may feel like I might have to be like, oh, what's up, bro? You know, or maybe
Yeah.
like, put on. I call it straight mace. You know, I just put on a persona. But I'm like, okay, what's up? You know, and now like if it's like my friends, I'm like, what's up? You know, like just being like comfortable. But like yeah, I definitely think that sometimes I may have to not be so.
Quick follow up to that,
Terrible.
because that also sometimes assumes that gay men also don't want to do like the dap up, right? Because the dap is very very interesting, right? Because I have some friends who rather do hugs, right? Rather do daps. I don't have any. Well, actually, I don't know if I have any straight friends who would rather do hugs. I don't know, but some my friends have told me that, hey, you know what? Sometimes I feel like I have to dap up just so I can fit in. I don't want to dap anybody up, and this could be like for women too. Like, I don't know. What do y'all think? Even when you came in, like we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
Anybody.
I feel like I'm talking a lot, but like for
Yeah.
for like people that like acquaintances or maybe like I worked with them or something like that. If I see them in passing, I'm just like, oh, what's up? Like head nod or like a dap up. But if like you're my friend and I'm like, oh hey, like I'll go in for a hug. Like if they're a guy or a girl or whatever. Like if I consider you like a close friends, like we hang out, we go out together, like we do stuff together. Like I consider you my friend. Like yeah, I'm not dapping you up. I'm like, hey, that's me personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think my experiences in going to law school, I was telling them like, that the culture there is, you have to be this professional, there's type of these kind of just like standards that you want to partake in, or that it's just customary, and sometimes I just don't feel right, and I feel like I have to go in and out of a different, I don't know if I call it identity, but you just gotta show face.
Like
You
a
know?
different
Yeah.
version of
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, you just have to change, and even coming out early, like I would do that with my parents, or when I go back home, and then when I'm around friends, I could just, alright, nobody's gonna judge me. Like, I could just, whip my hair if I want to.
Same.
But, like, I can't really, like, do or say some of those things in different settings. So, like, it was funny. It was a funny experience. And, like, I was in law school, and we were, like, in finals, and I was, like, really tired. And I was talking to two guys, they're straight, and I was like, yo, a bitch is tired. And they were like, what? And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to, I'm not supposed to talk to her like that. And they thought it was the funniest thing. They were like, oh shit. So sometimes I was like, it was neat because I also kind of just felt comfortable enough to be myself or whatever, like whatever I'm into. But I thought that was interesting. They thought it was funny.
I'm not supposed to be like this video. That's so funny.
I think it's like a constant like internal battle because like you want to like be yourself and you want to be expressive and things like that, but you also don't want to like fall into like the the typical stereotypes that like a gay man has to be like extra and all these things. So like it's like a battle because like you want to be your normal and true self, but at the same time you don't want to be like, oh, I'm portraying the stereotype that everyone already believes of.
And that's so sad. You shouldn't have to worry about that.
Right.
I mean, like,
and that was the conversation at the beginning that he said that like, do you think that like guys that are flamboyant or that speak a certain way, do you think that like they're just naturally like that, or are they portraying something that society has deemed like that
what they should
they should be, like they're only limited to that box or that square,
or like for lesbian women as well, maybe I don't know the answer to that.
I've read this kind of just like not specific to just like the gay experience, but just like all experiences. If someone tweeted like, do you ever think about if characteristics of you are like you, or if it's like because of an identity that you have and like society's taught you like that's what you have to be. You know what I mean? I definitely think there's like a mixture of that as well.
I agree. I mean, there's no way we can live like our life without being influenced by society. We are exposed to it every day, and we live into a society that kind of set the parameters for how we should behave. But I think that a lot of the time people are, for the most part, being true to themselves. I just think that like if you are a certain identity, it's okay to be that full, like if you're a guy. There are a lot of guys that are straight and very metrosexual. Like, they are like, people are like, oh, he's gay, but he's like, no, I like girls only. But he just seems gay because of what we perceive as gay. And it's like, if he was gay, he'd probably be like twerking all over the place or something. He'd probably be super flamboyant. But it's like, because he's not gay, he's not going to like be that flamboyant. He's just going to be, metrosexual or whatever it is. So sometimes I feel like, like if you are gay, like sometimes it just lets you be the freedom, and even girls that are like tomboys, girls that are tomboys still try to be a little bit of like some of them try to be a little bit more feminine because they're like, well, I'm still trying to attract men. If you are a girl and you're like a tomboy, it's like I'm not trying to attract niggas, so I really don't need to do anything that would attract them.
I haven't shaved my legs in a minute.
So can you kind of talk a little bit about when you first came in, right?
Yeah, so when I first came in,
this is the first time it's happened.
Yeah,
it's not the first time. Yeah.
So we like dapped up, and then it was like we leaned in for like a hug and like a kiss on the cheek, and so it was I guess you could say it's like a mix of society. With me, I would say more so like I could hug a male if I'm comfortable with him or so ever. Not that I'm not comfortable with you, but it's just like a full like hey, like haven't seen you in a minute. I guess it just really depends on the person, really, for me.
Real quick, I want to read these comments. I said, my first time going to a gay club, I was so freaked out when men and women were going into the same restrooms. Definitely a learning experience. My BFF who was gay was amused at my reaction. He said, just go and win. Ryder Kayla said, yeah, but why do you think everyone has that gay friend that everyone is cool with? That persona. I think they're kind of getting at like this idea of like the gay best friend. Has anyone like experienced it? Because gayness gets exoticized, right? The media extremely culpable for that. I don't know. What do y'all think? And then when I say gay, I mean gay men, right? But then gay women, they get exoticized in a different way, but if you look a certain type of way. All right. So what do y'all think about all this?
I agree. I most definitely don't make a lot of friends simply because of that. Like next thing you know, you see on their Twitter, it's like, oh, I want a gay best friend. It's like, oh, so we're friends all of a sudden, like that type of thing. It, like you said, it's really exotified, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think my niece found out I was gay. She's like very young, and I guess there was like some show on the Disney Channel or something on TV. Like she thought having a gay friend was like, she's like, I need a gay friend so he could get me a boyfriend and like we can go shopping, and like she was talking to me, and I was like, you don't need a gay friend like
to do those
so
things.
yeah,
Just
like
make friends.
yeah, what? And not all gay people are like that. Like I hate shopping, so even my girlfriends, like they, you know what does she say? She says that she always says that I'm defective gay because I don't like shopping and like I'm not very like into a lot of
Defective.
you know. So I mean, she jokes around. Obviously, we have the relationship, but you know, it's yeah.
You know, it's go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was gonna say real quick. I think that's like what the issue is of like, well, social media and like the media, movies, CDs. That's the issue when we paint people with like single stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yes, there are more gay men. I'll use specifically that we're talking about, like in shows and things like that. But what is the only gay man that we see? You know, and it's the stereotypical like shopping, like da 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 da. I'm one of the girls, yada yada yada. And yeah, I've heard like, especially coming from like a white suburban town, like I need a gay best friend, like da 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 da. We're gonna go shopping, like. Ugh, yeah, it's like super cringy because it's kind of like your identity is just like brought down to, if anything, it's the parts that like benefit the other person.
Yeah.
You know, like I need you because you can go shopping with me and like da da da. Yeah.
And
You
tell me,
know
like,
what's funny? Like, I just wanted to touch on that. One of my close friends, Yesenia, I don't know if she's watching, but hey.
She not.
Anyway, like,
Yesenia, you rude.
because I guess like I'm really like
Trying.
straight
She
passing.
might be right.
You know, like whenever we go out in public, like she's always like, you know, guys don't typically approach her because like she's with me all the time. So she's always like, you know, like get away from me or like, you know, do something, you know, so like they know that we're not together. You know? So like it's funny that like you know everyone's you know like stupid stuff. So
Interesting. Venom the Opera saying, our ideas of gender identity and expression tie into how people understand the ideals of what being queer should and what it shouldn't be, it seems. Too many strict gender norms that do not truly understand how big gender is. All girls will tell her boyfriends, he's my gay BFF, because straight men and women can't be friends.
Yeah.
that's
No, because and I hear that a lot, that you know, like if a guy is friends with a girl, like something's up.
Yeah.
Like it just can't.
One of them isn't
be.
straight.
Because guys are horrible people.
Or like they're
Or
into
they're
each
into
other
it,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know.
Okay. That's interesting. The media portrays feminine expressing gay men and trans women. Do you think this ties into the fetishizing of women?
Wait, say it again slowly.
The media portrays feminine expressing gay men and trans women. Do you think this plays into fetishizing women? I don't know if I'm reading that correctly. Then he says Venom the Opera said, because lesbian women and trans men do not get the same amount of time on media. Not that LGBTQ are seen
Yes,
as
Matt.
Anyways.
That's my little. He's so smart.
Matt,
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, yeah. Everyone that has slightly feminine characteristics is definitely sexualized.
Yeah.
No matter what. Yeah. So like the feminine gay man can portray as more sexy because there's like those qualities of like, you know, whatever.
Can you do it again?
Sass.
Can you do it again?
Yes.
Yeah, like that's like something people identify as like sexy and feminine, yada yada. And yeah, that's definitely why there's like a lack of representation for masculine presenting gay people, masculine presenting like trans people.
Real quick, Andrea's saying, I think so. Gay women, bi women, and lesbians are extremely fetishized, but only if they're feminine.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And Matt's saying, especially in porn.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yes.
wanted to talk
That's
about
only
this.
when we cool.
Yeah, for sure. I actually was talking about this the other day with a friend of mine. It bothers me that like you can't watch TV or a movie, and it's like if you get to ever, because it's like super rare, And I'm always looking. I'm always like lesbians in a movie that don't die or like get their heart broken.
Listen.
So it's really hard, especially if you're looking for black women. It's just not existent. But if you happen to find a movie with lesbians, they're both femmes for sure.
Okay, what does that mean?
They're both feminine. They're both
Femmes.
like, it's me dating Jasa. Like, it's like, that's it. That's all you're gonna see in movies. If you guys don't know Jasa, she's like super girly. But it's like, and so like tying into that, I watched Kehlani's music video for Honey, and I was so happy because I was like, she was in the video and she made a comment about it. She was like, yeah, this song was made about a androgynous woman, so I wanted to cast an
Did
androgynous
you say
woman.
what androgynous was yet? You just said it before the show. What does it mean?
Androgynous is kind of like women who are masculine in a sense, or people who are masculine in general, like masculine and feminine people who like
Or kind of in the middle.
Yeah, in the middle. Like they're not really.
You can't. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was like, the song was written about an androgynous woman, and she wanted to portray that in the music video because people were asking her why she didn't like have a more feminine girl as the as her like her love interest in the music video. And I really appreciate that. And I was talking to my friend, and I was like, I'm just really like in love with Kehlani for saying that. Like, I'm so happy she said that because I was like, as a woman like who's a femme who likes masculine women, I was like, I just appreciated that because I'm like, I don't want to watch movies all the time and it's like femme and femme because like that's totally cool, and I'm like not saying that people can't do that, but it's like it becomes fetishized because it's like that's what you guys are attracted to. That's what you guys visually want to see. You don't want to see a femme dating someone masculine because you don't want to see the masculine
Because it's
girl.
intimidating to you as well too.
It
like,
is. And nobody wants to see masculine women. Nobody wants to see butch women or studs or whatever we're identifying them as. Nobody wants to see that. So like people would rather see, you know, femmes with femmes. Nobody wants to see femmes with studs or whatever. And
Stud,
I'm like,
what is that?
Stud is.
Don't breathe that hard. Wow.
I was just like, another question.
It's basically however you look at it. There's different terms once like you're behind a like lesbian, like someone into lesbian. So it's like you have femme, then you have a STEM, which is like in
A
the
STEM?
middle between a
Science,
stud
technology.
and a femme.
engineering. No. So someone who's kind of like they're both
in the middle, like a big T with skinny jeans.
Yeah, I would say stud is more of an urban term. So like I would say more black and Hispanic women probably identify more into the stud category, and then like white women would more so probably fall under like butch and things like that.
Is that an offensive word? I've heard it's
So
offensive.
it can be derogatory.
Yeah, it can.
I don't prefer it. But some people they'll be like, oh yeah, like I'm a butch or butch, bull dagger, dyke.
Bull dagger.
Yeah, those are like all derogatory
Offensive, yeah.
terms, like really offensive terms.
Some people use them to
People
describe
think
themselves.
people think dyke is like, I can go old school for it, but
Yeah.
it's just like history behind like all the words.
Is there a word that you prefer?
I prefer stud.
So stud is less pejorative. It's not offensive.
Yeah, not really. But I more so consider I more so have seen it in urban communities more so like
Right.
black and Latino women are usually the only people that I've never really seen. I mean, maybe there are some out there, but I've never really seen white women consider themselves studs.
Real quick, we got a lot of people tuning in. People just joined in. We want to give a special welcome to Yesenia. You were spoken about earlier. You were not here. So welcome to the show. And y'all getting a lot of hearts and everything. You want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to go back to the whole idea of like only femme presenting like gay women being on TV and stuff like that. So I always say like conservative men love to like watch lesbian porn, but like they don't want to give lesbians or like any gay people like rights. You know what I mean? So I had this one experience where I was a waiter, right? And there was this other waiter, and he was bugging out. He was like, "Oh my god, this table, they're just so gay. Like, can they be less gay in front of me?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "They just keep holding hands." There's two gay guys. Can they just like stop holding hands? And I was like, "Do you watch lesbian porn?" And he was like, "Yeah, I mean it's hot." And I was like, "So how can you literally like fetishize gay people and like get off to that, right? But then you can't let gay people like be in loving relationships in front of you." Oh, that's different. Those girls aren't even gay, as if that like, you know, changes it in any way. Yeah, but it's just like such a common thing. And like, I don't know, I feel like I experience a lot also because I'm like super straight passing and I'm bi. So every time any guy finds out I'm bi, it's like, so will you have a threesome with me and my girlfriend? So it's just like everything is fetishized, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I feel like my identity to most people is just like a sexual thing. in their eyes.
I wanted to say something. Like, it's funny. Like in the gay community, like masculine men are like, you know, always like on, you know, dating apps or things like that. People are always like looking for like masculine gay men only. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or like a down low type of gay man.
What does that mean?
So a down low gay man is like someone who, or like trade, I guess is another term.
What is it?
Trade. That's another term.
Trade.
Yeah. So
Why you laughing, man?
so like a DL, like a down low or a
Like
trade.
a closeted man.
Yeah, it's like a closeted
Yeah.
man. So like a man who maybe is like, yeah, like has a girlfriend
he's
or
messing
like
with men on
married
that.
or something, but like, you know, messes with men on the side.
Yeah.
So like it's funny that like, you know, a lot of times like within the gay community they're like, you know, I want like only a masculine gay man. Like I want a man that's like,
And you get the voice real quiet.
whatever, yeah. And then people are like, you know, why? Like why are we shaming like people who are maybe more feminine? And like it doesn't matter. Like that's just an issue that's always. Well, I don't know if it's always existed, but like at least from my experience, like it's always there, and it's just like, you know.
Go ahead.
No, I just think that says like a lot about gender. Like
Yeah.
no matter what community you're in, no matter
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
masculinity is preferred and femininity is not.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it is. Like I have one friend and like I'll be on like Grindr with him, just like swiping through people.
Yeah.
And there's like Grindr, which is like Tinder for like only gay people.
Grinder?
Grinder.
Yeah.
Oh, I say
Oh,
Grindr because
You
I think
call
it's
it
Tinder.
Grindr?
I know it's not. It's Grindr.
No, I like it.
Even though technically Grindr
I
was
was like,
before
is this
Tinder,
new?
but anyway, so like he'll be on that, and like no femmes is like a thing,
Yeah.
and that's like
No offense.
yeah,
No
and that's like
offense.
very
Yeah,
like
No
terrible.
anything. Yeah.
and even though it's
No,
not
be
Tell
something.
yourself.
No blacks. Like it's just like no anything. What are you looking for?
A white straight man, literally. Essentially.
That's funny.
Yeah, so like even if you're not looking for women, like women are still hated. Just like saying like
Yeah.
the feminine.
You know that brings that like actually made me think of something. There's like so much tension and like oppression, especially in the gay community, and it's so weird because it's like we're pressed enough. Shouldn't we just like love each
Yes, I
other?
agree.
But like we don't. And like you talking about like your struggles as a bisexual woman, I as a lesbian, I'm always defending bisexual women. And I really honestly I couldn't tell you why. I'm always like, cause I will meet other lesbians or other women who will be like, well yeah, like I don't really like bisexual women, da da da. They actually got into a low key argument with like this girl one time because I was like, I don't understand, like what is your problem? Like, and it's just like a lot of times there's just this like this thing I guess sometimes when people are like, oh well I don't know if they're really gay or this and that, or like they play games and all this stuff, and I'm like, what is the problem? And then even for like me, because I am a femme, I've like had situations where people be like, oh I forgot you were gay. And it's like, I talk about women a lot. How did you forget? It'll be like, or I'll say like, oh, I can't wait to have a wife, and they'll be like, oh, really?
You're still?
Yeah. You're still doing that? You're still doing that? And I'm like, yes. I'm still doing that. Like, I'm in hot pursuit for my wife right now. Like, homie.
My parents will do that. They'll come out of nowhere. They're like, oh, so like, you know, you can still marry your best friend. You guys get along great together.
Oh.
Yeah, to this day.
I was like,
So this isn't like an exact science because the only research is done by me, but I would say, okay, so I have a Tinder, not a Grindr, a Tinder, right? And so through my research, I definitely get swiped way more by men than I do by women, and I think part of it, I mean, a lot of it has to do with I look straight, you know what I mean, whatever that means, and like I have I'm bisexual. I just feel like women don't. Like you're saying, like bisexual is kind of like
They're like
a floozy
turn
thing, you
off.
know?
They're like,
bi people
No.
are slutty. That's like
yeah.
Oh, true.
if you're bi, then you're a
Yeah.
slut. You
People
just
do
like
think
sex.
that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've thought that before.
Mhm.
Like I'll swipe left.
Yeah, no, it's a thing, and it's like intimidating to like be in queer spaces sometimes, which is so strange because like you would think that would be where I was most comfortable because technically like I'm in that umbrella term,
Yeah.
but like
A lot
it's
of
hard
lesbians
to get
will shun
like
you.
yeah, it's hard to be like validated.
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 Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
There's a lot of like, oh, well, I don't really want to date a girl that's like had a lot of like, you know, that
God.
thing. And there's like a lot of like, you know, there's a lot of like, you know, conversations and stuff. Like I remember one time on Tumblr, I got this really offensive like ask, and it was anonymous, obviously, because nobody asks these kind of questions with their face attached. And it was like, "Are you a Gold Star lesbian?" Like,
Oh,
Oh
what?
gosh.
Oh yeah.
A
Yeah.
Gold Star
Gold
lesbian
Star, yeah.
Gold
Gold
Star.
Star.
Gold
gay,
Star.
Gold Star.
is
Gold Star.
a lesbian that has never had sex with a male or has never been
penetrated.
penetrated.
But it can apply to gay men too. Like a Gold Star gay would be a gay man who has never been with a woman ever.
Yeah, so it's like, are you like, and it's like, why do you deserve a Gold Star for that? Like,
Wait a second. Let me get my Gold Star.
but I'm like, why do you deserve? Does anyone deserve a Gold Star? Like a Gold Star is something you get like for being good. Like you get in elementary school, you get a Gold Star on your notebook because you were a good person, and it's like just because someone had to like find their sexuality later on,
Right.
In
like
this heteronormative world where it's like
exactly,
that's expected
like
of you, you know?
okay, like maybe this lesbian has 3 kids, so obviously she's not a Gold Star lesbian, but like does that take her lesbianism away? No, she's just as lesbian as anybody else, and it's like if somebody wants to at some point, even after they know their sexuality, mess with somebody of the opposite sex or out of the sex that they're usually attracted to, I don't feel like there should be anything wrong with it. It's really frustrating that like there's this big conversation. I'm like I said in a conversation to a friend of mine, like, why is penis so important? Like, why is dick so... I'm like, why does my sexuality why does dick have to come into my sexuality? Like, how much dick I've never had or have had before or might have in the future. Like, why does dick rule my sexuality? I don't care.
Yes.
Like, if I've ever had done anything with the dick before, what does that have to do with what I'm doing right now?
Yes.
And I would say that plays into a lot of things, not even just like the whole dick thing, but like the whole dick thing.
Tell us more about that.
The moment where
The
you
whole
come
dick thing.
out, the moment where you come out, they automatically ask, like, we were talking about it for have you ever, and it's like well,
How many?
have you ever had
You
sex with a
tried
male? Like,
it.
how do you know? Or it's like, have you ever had sex with a female? How do you know? And I think they relate it to like a lot of just like they relate, though it's kind of in their sexuality with sex, even though it shouldn't be that way. It's more like, I would say for me, it's more like feelings. Like I'm attracted to women because of this, and this, and that. Like all the time, like completely.
Yeah.
Whereas like,
Sorry.
and so I find it kind of humorous at some points because it's like, I just lost my train of thought.
Find your train. Real quick, let me read some of these comments.
Cool.
Like I say, I want to read Matt's question, but I think his question is gonna bring a lot of conversation. So I'm gonna ask it though. Real quick though, like I said, a friend of mine was referring to racism within the community, and I was just floored. My ignorance kicked in. This kind of goes to Matt's question, but we'll get to that. Is it Gold Star? Other kid is asking, isn't that a Starbucks term? She also wants to know what we're sipping on tonight. It's just grape juice.
Yeah.
Served at church. Yes.
Good job.
Jason said something really interesting. We were kind of talking about the show Insecure earlier.
Ooh, yeah.
And she said, I think it's also a problem that women are somewhat disgusted by bisexual men.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
yes.
Can you talk about it, please?
Yes.
I think just because like, okay, if you think about it, in a straight relationship with a male and a female, like they're always like, if he maybe did something that they're kind of like, weirded about, they're like, oh, he's gay, and that's like automatically like used as an insult or used as like like less of a man type of thing, where it's like in reality it doesn't make you less of a man. And just because he may like housewives, like to watch housewives with you or something, doesn't necessarily mean that he's attracted to men. But yeah, so I think that goes to that, like why they're unattractive or they try to have, they're weird towards bisexual men is because they think that that's like, that they're less of a man, or they're like, I don't know, it's just.
And I had a really good conversation with a lot of girls because I was just like pushing her train of thought.
Like,
and even the guys too. I was like, because I was asking the girls, I was like, would you be with a guy that was with guys before?
No.
They're like, no. And then the one girl was good. I mean, the one girl was like, okay. And I was like, well, what if they like played the masculine role? Like, what if they like just kind of just stuck it to the guy and like they didn't play none of that like other gay stuff? And they're like, oh, you know, maybe,
Stick it to the
or like, you know,
Or the top.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
like
It
the
wasn't-
tippity top,
yeah.
or like, you know, if they were doing more feminine stuff or whatever, you know, these other like kind of just stereotypes, like, does that matter to you, and X, Y, Z, and I just felt like it goes to play into these gender roles that like
Exactly.
I felt like as a gay man, you're forced to take on these gender roles that like
These straight gender roles. It's,
straight
like,
gender roles
stupid.
that like I wish we
Yeah.
like sometimes I wish we never had, but it's crazy because I feel like sometimes I still do battle with myself and how I feel things and how my body responds to things and like what I like because you know you're still kind of like
Hypernormative.
yeah it's just I really enjoy like when I meet people that are like just free. Like, you know, they're just like, I just like a man and doesn't care X, Y, Z. So, you know, that's the goal.
I think it plays a lot into what I was saying about like why is penis so important. It's like the power of penis.
Right.
It's like if a man has ever even thought about a dick, it's like I'm sorry I'm saying the penis and dick a lot.
Why are you apologizing?
Yeah.
Say it louder. Say it louder. Say it
Right?
louder.
Penis.
Oh, we
But-
don't censor ourselves.
But it's like
Go ahead, go
it's
ahead.
like penis, dick is just so important and so powerful that if as a man you've ever even thought about it, it's like you are now forever and always a gay man. And it's like I've had conversations with someone I know that's bisexual, a man, and it's like a lot of women are turned off by the fact that they have liked men in the past. A lot of women don't see them as, you know, bi. It's like, oh, well, he's really not bi. He's just gay, and this is just like some sort of like side term that he's just using right now.
Yeah, it's a phase.
Yeah, it's a phase. It's like his pre I'm gay, just so like people can, and it's like people aren't bisexual to become gay. People are legitimately bisexual sometimes. And it's really frustrating because I've had sometimes.
Yo, bi erasure is real.
It is.
Nobody thinks bisexual. I wouldn't be surprised if one day it's just like LGT.
Yeah,
They're
they're
just like take it out of
they
there.
were,
Like,
you know what? It's just gonna at some point just be lesbian, gay, bacon, and then trans.
Yeah.
Like we're just taking you guys out.
Yeah, no. It's
but
real on all sides.
It really is, and it's like why is like dick so powerful? Like guys, I think that guys, and it also plays into the sense of like nobody's ever scared of like a woman who's messed with a woman before.
Right.
Like if I were
That's
to
sexy.
if I were to like randomly at some point be like I'm like straight now, no guy would ever be like, well, how many women did you used to mess with?
Or they would, but they'd want to know the details.
Yeah, they want to know like
Do you
they
still have
want
her number?
They
Can
want
she
to
join
yeah,
us?
they want to know like sexually, but they wouldn't want to be like, do you still love her?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
are you gonna leave me for
Yeah.
her? Because like it's so powerful that like if I ever loved a woman in the past, I would never return to that lifestyle. Like I would never leave a man. Like I would never leave a man for like
a woman.
just a vagina.
So I think we are making generalizations too, right?
Yeah. True.
Because and I love the conversation, but I think also in a way we sometimes essentialize bodies and identities. So when we say gay people, lesbian people, straight men, straight women, we are in a way generalizing, right? And also essentializing people. So I just kind of want to put that out there. So these are conversations that we're having from maybe research that has been done on our own or from experiences that we've had, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously, like we're saying tonight, everyone is different,
Yeah.
right? So I do want to kind of make that clear because I don't want people to leave tonight saying,
Yeah.
oh, well, you know, these people thought just like this, so obviously everyone has to be like this, right?
Not at all.
So I do kind of want to put that out there.
No, and I think that like sexuality is something that I learned that it's like super fluid.
Yeah.
And I think the
For sure.
goal for a society is to be in a society where somebody can be sexual with any gender at any point without anybody questioning them as to who they are. Like you should be able to come home and be like, oh, like did you break up with your girlfriend? Yeah, like this is my boyfriend. Like
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like sorry to hear that. Hi, boyfriend.
Yeah,
That would
for
be-
sure.
And I agree with that because I talked about this before as well. Gender sits on a spectrum as well. So it's like how can sexuality not also sit on that same spectrum? Like I've realized that I like masculinity. Usually like it in the form of women, but like there have been times where I'm like have been attracted
That
to
beard.
like Cavante from Moonlight. If you
Yeah.
are tuning in, my number is because I would leave like anyone.
That's the thing that you would do.
I would change my life. Like I would be like, Mom, I found the man finally. I know you've been waiting, but
Maybe praying. And we're gonna get to that. We're gonna talk about that. Yeah.
maybe praying.
So Instagram kicks us off after 1 hour. So I'm gonna end it and then I'm gonna restart it. But I'm going to ask Matt's question in this next segment, which is talking about transphobia and racism within the LGBTQIA plus communities with an S. And yeah, and I want to also get at Jasa, what she said. Also, straight people are so ignorant and have that mentality that gay individuals are still directly associated with STDs or AIDS. So we're gonna talk about this in the following segment. So give us 1 second, y'all.
I said, oh, it's so